Hi lovelies and welcome back to this channel. If you're new here, my name is Belinda's channel. Thank you so much for all the love and support. Don't forget to please subscribe to this channel, turn on notifications so that anytime I upload a video, you'll be the first person to be notified. And to my returning subscribers, to those people that share my videos, leave commentaries, and also educate each and every one of us, you guys are the real MVP. Alright lovelies, let's dive into today's video. So lovelies, I came across this video on my For You page on TikTok and I thought to share with you guys where Esther from the Under the Influence podcast actually came out with a second apology. We all know that she gave the first apology and now she has come out with another proper second apology, but this got her own people coming for her. Like they were like, Esther, just stop it already. And I was able to put up some of those stitches. I'm just going to roll the clip. Please leave me your own thought in the comment section of what you think of this video. Alright lovelies, let's dive into it.
Hi everyone, I want to take this time to address something that has deeply affected many of you. And I want to be completely transparent. I am going to be reading from a prepared statement to ensure that I communicate my emotions, my thoughts, and apologies clearly and sincerely, and so that I don't leave anything out. On my podcast, I discussed a TikTok video that perpetuated dangerous stereotypes, and I know now that I shouldn't have ever brought up those views, even for discussion, and I want to sincerely apologize to the Black community, especially Black women. After my initial apology, I took the time to look at the responses and understand why my words may have fallen short. I aimed for clarity to avoid confusion, but I could see now that it could come off as insincere or dismissive, and that was never my intention. I apologize for not providing the depth that the situation deserved, and I hope that this message can reflect my genuine remorse and my commitment to learning and growing from this. And my intention was never to spread misinformation or to hurt anyone, but I understand that by bringing up those views, that was inappropriate and harmful and hurtful to many of you guys, and for that I am truly, truly sorry. I acknowledge that I made a significant mistake and I just want to own up to everything. In the clip, I referenced the video that spread false and offensive stereotypes, and now I know how damaging it is to give voice to these harmful ideas. I should have been more mindful and respectful of the impact that my words could have. This whole experience has been a learning process for me, and I understand that as a content creator, my responsibility is to approach these types of sensitive topics with care. I'm committed to being more aware of the impact of my words, especially when it comes to race and personal identity. I understand that this is a deep issue for many of you, and just mentioning it hurt you, and that was never my intent, but I understand that intent doesn't matter when the impact was so hurtful, and I just want to let you guys know that I never want to hurt anyone, and it genuinely makes me sick to my stomach that I hurt you, and I'm sincerely sorry for that. I also want to apologize for taking some time to address this publicly. I had to take some time off of social media to reflect on how I'm going to be better and to prevent this from ever happening again. I understand if some of you guys don't want to hear this, that's completely fair. And I also know that trust isn't easily regained after a mistake like this. I completely understand. And I also know that some of you guys may respond and say that she's only saying sorry just to say sorry, and I want to emphasize that I genuinely want to take accountability for this and that your feelings are valid. Thank you for those that have been patient with me as I learn and grow from this mistake. I take full accountability for everything, and I just want to say that I hope to be able to gain your trust back through my actions. And yeah, thank you for understanding. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for listening, and take care.
Yeah, I want to take this moment to sincerely apologize for a topic that I brought up. It wasn't my view or opinion.
I don't know, I will always be biased when it comes to apologies coming from influencers or people who have platforms, because I feel like 100% of the time when it comes to apologies, it's always going to be coming off as insincere, not really knowing like what they're apologizing for, and on top of that, it just kind of feels like I end up hating the person 100% again. On top of not mentioning about the whole Drew situation at all, but very dismissing about like the entire situation about the racist comment in general is very weird, because I just wish like when it comes to apologies, they would reiterate and like restate like what they said, and then maybe mention a few things from other creators that like of calling them out basically of why they said was inappropriate, and like they would learn, you know, and educate others, as that's the whole point of a learning process, right? And these apologies just come off so insincere, especially because she's dismissing this issue by bringing up the fact that she's also a person of color. But it's just weird. It's not an excuse. And on top of that, this is why intersectionality is so important, because although, like, yes, East Asians also go through some fetishizations and emasculations, it's very different from the experiences of Black people. And I will always stand by this, that in no way, shape, or form are death threats ever appropriate, and she did not deserve any of that. But that entire thing should not be used as an excuse to victimize yourself in this situation when you've hurt so many other people. And just because you state that you're a person of color doesn't mean that you're not racist. Like, people of color can be racist as well. And this is why we should take it upon ourselves to, you know, be the better person, the bigger person, and educate the people in our communities why these prejudice and stereotypes and racism is not okay. And let's normalize calling out anti-Blackness in Asian communities.
I watched Esther's new ChatGPT apology video, so you don't have to. My main issue with her Colleen Ballinger apology tour is the fact that she doesn't seem to understand what she's even apologizing for. She doesn't do the extra work to understand how we got here in the first place. Like, yes, you never should have brought up Black women's bodies in this false, really dehumanizing way that you did. But why did you? And she keeps saying, oh, my intent wasn't to harm, but I understand the impact was harmful. But I call BS on that. Your intent was in fact one of harm when you were so willing to bring up Black women in a very derogatory manner just to make them the brunt of your joke. And I need Esther to dig deeper to question why she was able to engage with such anti-Black, dangerous rhetoric in the first place without second thought. I need her to understand that there is something fundamentally wrong about her current belief systems that allowed her to get into this mess in the first place. And that goes for all of the members of that stupid Under the Influence podcast. And I'm all for Esther to grow and learn, but do it off the internet. We don't need you here.
I watched Esther's second apology video. Here's the thing. Why couldn't you do that the first time? Why couldn't you be genuine? And why couldn't you say that the first time you made an apology statement on your podcast? What's not clicking here? I'm like, genuine, like, I can't take that genuinely. That's not genuine to me if you got to come back on here and do a second apology because the first apology wasn't sincere enough and people and Black women and the Black community didn't feel like it was sincere or genuine. And you got to come back a second time? Oh, all right. And to the people in her comments saying, oh, she's genuine, like it was just blown out of proportion, it's not that deep. If you are not Black and you are not a Black woman, you don't get to tell people to get over it. You don't get to tell them to get over it. And you don't get to tell them if they accept the apology or not. That's kind of crazy. Why is it that you have to come out a second time with a prepared statement because the first time it wasn't genuine? You looked pissed sitting there trying to say sorry. I'm sorry, but if you took weeks to come back and do a podcast episode to talk about this, and that's the first apology, and you should have had a prepared statement the first time. Why do we have to listen to you the second time? I'm sorry, but I got to be critical of her because as a content creator, as you said, you have to be mindful of what you say. And now you came back a second time to do an apology because the first one didn't work out. And now you know that you're about to get canceled. And all right, you had weeks to come on here. You had weeks to prepare the statement, prepare the apology. It's not like it was a day or a week ago, okay? And I understand taking time off, but you had weeks. You guys just came out with the podcast episode talking about this. And now because that shitstorm backfired and it's not going the way that you guys thought it was going to go, you had to come out with the second statement. And the fact that you are the only one from that podcast even coming out with an apology statement is crazy to me. None of the men in that podcast take accountability for any of the shit that they also contributed. It's only Esther. They threw her under the bus and they blame this all on her. And Esther, you need to reflect on this and truly think about if whether or not those are your friends and if that really is your man, because your man just let you take the fall for that shit and threw you under the bus as a scapegoat. Do you really want to be with a man like that? Think about that, Esther. You're like in your 30s, girl. Come on, be smarter.
Hi, this is my first video ever that I'm posting to TikTok, so I'm a little bit nervous, but I wanted to come on here and add my 2 cents about the apology video from Under the Influence podcast show, and specifically when Esther says that her view on Black women that she voiced in that video, the original one, is not her view or her opinion. And I want to talk about that. So first, it is your view and it is your opinion. Because why would you say something like that if you didn't feel some type of connection to it? Second, what needed to happen in this apology video is a table discussion about exactly what was said, where it came from, why you felt compelled to say it, and what you can do better in the future to unlearn this opinion. And that is really what that type of conversation and video is what Black women deserved. Not what you gave was under the bare minimum. Let's just put it like that. So I just want to talk about the fact that it is a really important conversation that we need to have. Because, for one, I don't blame you for adopting that type of opinion. We develop our viewpoints from the environment that we grow up in, right? So if you grew up in an environment with other people who held that opinion, you are going to adopt the opinion. And it's just natural. That's how it works. But what I do blame you for is not being critical about such a hurtful stereotype. Not thinking about it more, asking yourself where it came from, why it's still here, and what function it serves. Because it's such a specific stereotype. So let's talk about it. So the stereotype is that Black women have loose vaginas. There's also another stereotype about Asian women and that they have tight vaginas. It's not a coincidence that these two stereotypes are so directly related and so opposite to one another. And we can speak a lot about what that does, what these stereotypes do to the two racial communities, Black women and Asian women, what it does to each one and how they relate to one another because of these stereotypes. And questions like that, why it's still here, what function it serves, are the type of conversations that we need to have, because we need to name it. First off is naming it. That's like what has to be done. Not once in that apology video did I see anyone reflect specifically on what was said about Black women. They kind of just beat around the bush. And I know it's uncomfortable to revisit what you said, but you have a responsibility to do so because it came out of your mouth and because it's so dehumanizing. And yeah, I think this conversation, apology video they could have gone 1,000 different ways with it, educational ways, but they chose not to. They chose to do under the minimum and just a very quick and easy apology and then shut the camera off. And I think that's unacceptable because you have all the tools and resources to research this topic, and It took you 2 weeks to make this apology video. In that 2 weeks, you could have done your research. You could have spoken to Black women, you could have educated yourself, and then come on to make an appropriate video. But you didn't. And that's what I have a problem with.
So I just saw Esther's apology video from Under the Influence podcast, and I'm honestly just confused. Like, did we expect her to actually grow, learn, and apologize for her mistakes? Because I feel like we were really hoping for her to take accountability, and then she didn't. Instead, what she did was say that she just learned to never bring her crazy takes and her racist shit to the podcast. I think if you know people who are similar to the Under the Influence people, you'll know that they're not going to apologize for anything. What they're going to do is deflect and just try to stay under the radar long enough so that they can pop their heads back up and just be the people that they are. They're rarely ever actually sorry about what they say and what they do. So I guess we should just all take this as a learning lesson and just stop standing and giving people like this clout.
So I just saw Under the Influence show apologize for what Esther said. It wasn't really an apology because the clip that I saw was the guy on her right, on Esther's right. He just said that he did not stand for anyone sending her all the unaliving threats to her, that he was not standing, he did not like that, and he was not standing up for any of it. He was not going to stand for it. And I was like, bro, what are you going to do if anyone decides to take action? Like, what are you going to do? Like, there's nothing you can do. You're not going to stop no one, buddy. But yeah, that's the crazy. And then the other crazy thing about this is that everyone in that show had a mic except for Esther. Like, they didn't trust her to say anything else. Like, oh, you've done enough, Esther. Tell me what you think about this, because
yeah, I actually took my mom out for some Korean food.
Oh my god, that's so cute.
Thank you.
Hey, but can we talk about cooch tightness? You know, because like some girls, like the reason their cooch is so like tight and stanky is because.
Hi everyone, I want to take this time to address something that has deeply affected many of you.
The problem is everybody thinks Black women are fair game for media consumption and to pick apart, from our hair to our skin tone down to even our private parts. That's what this girl is being disingenuous about. But for what it's worth, I do believe her that she heard this from men before she echoed it because she wanted the tension off of it. You know, it plays into the stereotypes that Asian women are pretty and petite and their private parts must be small and in perfect condition, and Black women are big, burly, scary, and beastly almost, that we must have these big hot dog walls down there. A lot of men think that way. She was just repeating it, thinking it was going to be cute for her to get attention off of it, and it backfired on her completely, because once again, Black women aren't playing around with people harassing us again. So I won't fault her completely. I do think she's an idiot. I do think she wanted attention, but I blame the men for shouting
I
this.
seriously love this. The way at which, you know, some people, especially POC people, will feel that they know very much about, you know, people that looks like me, especially Black women. The way at which they feel that they have opinions on them actually baffles me a lot. So this Esther of Under the Influence, you know, has been on the platform for over, you know, a week or so. For those of us that has not really, you know, is not following up with the issue with this Esther of a girl, I just want us to refresh a little bit. So this lady, who happens to be a Esther from the Asian community, she's actually an Asian American woman. So I think she was invited with another Asian person or Asian woman on a particular Under the Influence podcast, where they were all elaborating, you know, what it is with all of these podcast people, you know, thinking that they have opinion to people that they don't even know their ways or their life or their culture or whatsoever. So she was all about that, you know, podcast, and a discussion came up and she started to talk about, you know, Black women. she went ahead to say that black women, it's meant to, like, there are people that has, well, I use the word lose or something, which I cannot, compare to that of Asian women. Like, she is comparing black women and Asian women's down there, the one at which, and she also went ahead to talk about how black men, is also in the larger part, and and this got people reacting. People are reacting to the fact that I think she is naive, or maybe she's just having this internalized racism or anti-blackness, or maybe the way at which she grew up, and now maybe the community at which she grew up, and now she's trying to justify herself, or she's trying to feel good about herself. In other words, making or living a very, racist commentaries. Why I use that word is the fact that she know that black women are already, will I use the word sexualized and all of that, and she decided to also, use some words that she is not supposed to the fact that she just generalized it and not using maybe the scientific method. Like, I don't know, maybe it's from the way or the place she grew up, maybe what she has been hearing or what they tell them, or maybe she just want to feel some type of more special than the other, using such thing to maybe discriminate or to create a kind of narrative, without even making her own research. And she came out on an influence, like a podcast, to say such thing, and it's not, people are not having it. I was able to put out some, reactions from black community, and they really, really, really educated her, because she was all on that podcast so full of herself, like she just saying it as if she knows what she's talking about without even relating it to a scientific method. Like, this has nothing to do with a race, or maybe because she saw the way at which black women are made or are created with the natural endowments, will I use that word, and she feels a little bit of, maybe could I say, jealousy or intimidated or something, and she's now looking for something to degrade. When you see that something is so perfect and you are trying to compare yourself, like, okay, I am. This attitude is actually seen from people that is jealous, or people that feels that they are better than someone, and even if they feel that they are lacking some, they have some lacks, they want to use another thing to cover up with what they are actually lacking. People like that are very dangerous, and they are always in competition with you without even you knowing that someone is in competition with you. This person is always competing with you. This person don't want you. Even if this person is better than you, they won't still be satisfied, but they will still be in competition with you. Just also, like, even if they have a very positive remark about you, they will still look for a way to downgrade you down, to bring you down, to bring your ego down, because they always want to be at the top. They always want to be the center of attraction. They want to be the center of all of the universe. So she made such statement, and people were not having it. And the good part of it is that some Asian people actually, corrected her, came for her, tried to make her understand that this has nothing to do with race. This has everything to do with maybe the way at your personal being, or your building, or the way at which you are created. God created you, not race. And when the first apology she gave, she was like, didn't really apologize, but she was apologizing, but still, trying to make herself like, I'm still correct, even if you guys are angry. Until people still call her out for the apology she made. I think this is why she have to come with a second proper apology. And the thing is that, why is it that for that first time, why didn't she apologize the way that she apologized now? Like, I think I posted, I stitched the first apology and the second apology, or the second and the first apology. Yeah, you just check it out. The way in which she was apologizing for that first time is as if, okay, I said what I said, even if you guys are not, even if it's not sitting well with you guys. But right now, she has fully apologized, and a lot of her own is actually coming for her, counseling her as well. And I like the fact that sometimes when things like this happen, your own, if it's going to take your own to actually come out to correct you, I think that is where you will listen more. But when your own is actually supporting you and your shenanigans, that is when your ego will go up. So I think maybe she made that statement in order to get her own people coming like, oh yeah, this is what it is, genetic or whatsoever. But it's not what she's getting. And because it's not what she's getting, now she's out here apologizing. And she's not even the first person to be in this situation. A lot of pan-colored women are also in this situation. They will just come out, try to say something. They know that what they're about to say is going to make us, on the social platform, but they will just say it anyways. And deep down inside of them, they'll just say any outcome that comes, they'll just apologize. And then I see this thing as a as a format. Some POC people and pan-color people use this format. They will come and say something that directing that thing to black people or black community or something. But when they say that, they will not come out to apologize. They're gonna come out with all of, I want to formally apologize. Like, as if they don't know what they are doing at the first time. As if they don't know that, oh my goodness. Anyway, lovelies, leave me your own thought in the comment section. Please subscribe to this channel if you're here to do that, and I will see you, lovelies, when I upload. And if you have watched up to this extent, thank you so much for all the love and support. Why not just leave me your own thoughts in the comment section of what you think of this video. Please do not forget that we do not support any form of bullying and harassment. We just here to educate and inform ourselves. Alright, lovelies, please share this video, subscribe, and I will see you, lovelies, when I upload the next one.